Okay, hello again. That on Monday, Electric Cafe, Max Durante, and our guest today.
Brit Kanya.
Thanks for joining us, Britt.
Thank you for having me here.
Max,
Yeah.
I believe you already had a little talk with Britt before.
Yes. It was really amazing. Today we have really a special guest. Brit is one of the really original girls come from Berlin. She already told me a lot of story and beautiful things, and the meaning also to be in Berlin and a sense of these beautiful capitals.
Yes, it doesn't matter if you come to Berlin. It doesn't matter where your preferences are. It matters if you are open or not. If you are open enough, you will find your circle that pushes you in any direction you want to.
That's beautiful. That's the really essence of this city, right?
And it's coming from someone who actually saw way more of the city than Max and me did. And I think usually when we go back with our guests, it's we talk about the 90s, the techno times,
Yeah.
sometimes the 80s punk, but actually you grew up in the 60s, I believe.
I was born in 1950, and in the 60s I was a teenager in West Berlin. And by that time, West Berlin was gay city of the world, number one. So you had all those interesting live people, all those gay cafes, and at night. And a group of gays adopted me, and I had the luck to be the little princess. And life was so wonderful to me.
But
amazing.
that's a time where being gay was not that accepted everywhere in Germany. Or
Yeah, only in Berlin, I guess, because here they were all, and it was before the paragraph was fallen. It fell down in 67, and then they all got very excited.
So I believe at that time there were already a lot of very exciting parties happening.
Very exciting parties. Anything could happen until today. Berlin is a place, I think every decade it shows a new face, but it always has this mentality, which is Berlin, that is truthfulness. You know, you are completely authentic. And the humor is very down to earth. Some people, they may get offended by it because it tells the truth, but the people make a joke of it, and you know, if you are a Berliner, you know how to take it. It helps you to face your challenges, actually. But some people, they get offended. They think you want to do them something bad.
You've been born in Berlin.
I
right?
was
And
born in
raised
Berlin,
here,
yeah.
and you lived most of your life here.
Well, when I was in the end of my teens, I became a dancer, and I was all over the world. Not all over, but actually all over Western Europe and in America. And I lived in America for more than 6 years, and then I came back in the 80s. I got a cultural shock in my hometown. Because all this gay life was gone, all this beauty was gone, because Berlin has always been a city of fashion. And when I was a teenager, you didn't dare to walk the Kudamm without being dressed up. You were promenading there and had fun. You know, people love to dress.
Nowadays, I guess it's the opposite, that people would look at you when you are dressed up, because it's not the standard in Berlin
It's
anymore.
it's not the standard, but more and more people start to get to get a sense of aesthetics again. You know, for your own aesthetic, it doesn't matter what style you have, as long as you have a style.
I agree. What the really also talking before, it was really amazing. It was also the what we're talking about, the Berliners, the way also they're thinking about. Also because it's not the city. Sometimes what is important is who live
Is
really,
what?
no? Who live the city, who grow in the city, right?
Yes, and I mean nowadays, especially West Berliners, because of the political situation some time ago,
Yeah.
many West Berliners left the city because it was a kind of a threat that West Berlin is turning into Soviet territory.
Yeah. Okay.
So all the money left.
Okay.
And a lot of people left, so that's why I got also the shock when I came back, because you had all people from West Germany, mostly West Germans,
Yeah.
who were coming from little villages.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing against little villages. There are a lot of interesting mines there.
Yeah.
But in this concentration, people try to save West Berlin, so you get money and you get the flat, and they helped you with. I think you get 5,000 marks just for being here, or you didn't need to be drafted. In West Germany,
Yeah.
by that time you were drafted, and if you have your first stay
Yeah.
in West Berlin, you had nothing to do with being drafted.
Okay.
And then the political situation of the university was very left thinking, so
Yeah.
a lot of people got attracted by that, and so you had a mixture of all those things. And when I came back in the 80s, like 83 or something like that, everything was dressed in black. Nothing against black, but if they are all black, it's really heavy. and beauty was a no-go.
Yeah.
Beauty, they didn't, the sense of beauty was completely lost. It was actually a crime to dare to dress pretty or to look healthy.
Yeah.
And I came from California. I was studying nutrition. I looked like a young flower in the morning. And then the people get offended by me just the way I was, and I was thinking, what is going on here? I don't recognize nothing about my city, about the spirit I knew, because the Berlin spirit, it's about enjoying life, about having a taste, about standing for your own, being yourself, and connect with others the way you are. It's diverse, and they love diversity. And whatever you want to do, you can do here, as long as you don't hurt anybody. And
That's really the concept of it. Beautiful.
You certainly brought some color here in today. But when you say that, everything was black, and but still, I believe, because that's what I mean. Usually, that's the time that we would refer to when it comes to the roots of the music that we listen to. And I mean, this whole 80s have obviously a big influence on subcultural living, and also very important in Berlin.
The black was not the black like you are using today. It was like the black without taste. Just dark. And some people had taste, and so they were feeling very snobbish about the others and looking from above down to the others. Who are you? And you should not smile to anybody. That was a crime. Because you have to look like, oh, I am the only one on earth and you are nothing. And I couldn't take it. So my American best neighbor friend Bob Young and we started to create our own parties. And that was also the time House came over. So we had the Soul and the House, and we started every 4 to 5 weeks a new party on a different place that we found, and created a party scene with joy. We collected all the people who still love to have fun, who still are creative, and all of a sudden it was such a boom. And just here in Neukölln, where this is recorded from, there's Hermannplatz, and in 87 or so, on Hermannplatz, there was a shoe shop, a round one, with a lot of windows, And we could have it like for 1 or 2 years. They wanted to rip it apart. And so we had that first club. And we called it Hermann's Fenster, the window of Hermann. And all the artists, they got so creative. They were like standing there, oh, can we decorate the window for 2 weeks? And each one of the artists got a window for 2 weeks, so they had a place also to show to others, even in the daytime. And for us, it was the best thing that could happen to us. We had the free decoration. And we collected people from all age, from all sexes. You know, you could be just a normal hetero guy, but you could also be a gay or transgender, whatever you want to be, you could be. And you could be rich, you could be poor, you could be old, you could be young. It didn't matter as long as you had something beautiful in your heart. That was the thing we tried. We found the people, and we connected those people. And it was like a storm. You know, all this old stupidness was gone, and our club was really flourishing. And people wanted to have joy. They wanted to have fun.
That's beautiful. That's 1987.
That's when we started Hermann's Fenster, and in the beginning of '89, before the wall was still there, we opened 90 Degrees.
Okay.
And that was going on and even stronger, and then the club got more and more space because we couldn't take all the people in that wanted to come in, so the place got bigger and bigger.
Wow. Really amazing. We want to listen some music. What we can put.
I love house with a little touch of soul.
But also love what you played before. For example, she told me it looks like a house with metal, something. It was like
no, it was like techno with a little underground heavy metal.
Yeah,
the last one you played, but you know, whatever. I am a housewife and I love house music. This house is like, if it's not too hard. If it is too hard and too monotone, then I became a dance legastheniker. But as long as it moves me and puts me into certain direction and makes me higher and higher, I am in nirvana.
Beautiful.
I don't even know if I have house music.
No, we don't have a house, but
You
I think
played
it.
house
But
before.
but I think what we
But
play
it was
is,
house. You know, they call it techno today, but it's
Okay,
actually
yeah.
house.
you know,
Right.
You
like
know,
the prototype.
because I am also a victim of time, or and not a victim, a connoisseur of time when techno started. And house is something like you call today techno, actually.
Yeah.
And techno was boom, 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 boom. Was very hard without any vocals and nothing. It was just strong. For me, it's not. I tried to dance so hard on it, but I couldn't. But house, they call it today techno, but
Well,
actually it's house.
I have to tell, when I was playing before and I turned around and looked through the door, I saw Britt already dancing in
Yeah.
the room next door.
Right.
That's very beautiful.
Your music turns me on.
So you, I mean, of course, apart from the last 2 years with the pandemic, but you're still going to clubs and...
Well, I am invited to so many social affairs stuff, events. So
Okay, we're back.
when were we missing the link?
We were talking about if you're still going out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
clubbing, dancing.
Sometimes I go clubbing and dancing, but most of the time, like when is no lockdown, I am actually invited every day to certain events, and there are always very good DJs. Like the music I like yours. and so we have fun, getting together with all those interesting people and joining. I am very lucky that I get invited to all those places and having my fun.
Well, I guess you must know certainly a lot of people in the city.
Sure.
Yeah, also because you cross so many age, many generations. So you live in Berlin from a while, so you can really know how it was before, how it was now. I mean, it was,
Sure. I know all. I mean, one decade, it is the 70s. I've never been here, just maybe for Christmas to visit my mother and my father.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't know the 70s of Berlin. I came in back in the 80s.
Yeah.
By that time, I was gone. And since the 80s, I'm actually staying in Berlin only sometimes for half a year. I'm in Asia or India because I'm not going so far for a short time. For a short time, I want to know the mentality of the country, so I stay there for half a year to really get it.
Yeah.
And but most of the time, I'm based in Berlin now, and I love to live here. Not because it's my hometown; it's just because Berlin is the way it is.
Yeah.
And still, it has a new. Even so, every decade it has a new face. I am always here in the now. I mean, if I think about back, I love to think about it back, but what I'm living is now, and I love it also now.
Beautiful. That's really beautiful. I think we're talking really a lot about Berlin, but really the real meanings of Berlin, because sometimes when you come here, it's really not easy to fetch soon the city, to understand now also how to stay into the city. But I think what we're talking about is also this, to be yourself, to be what you are, comes as you are. Berlin is like this. It's a freedom, a free city, and that's really beautiful to have you here and talking about this, because sometimes it's not easy to talk really with the people from Berlin and show this reality.
Well, first of all, in every big capital, if you come into a new capital, it's almost, if you don't know anybody, it's like you have to explore.
Yeah.
Then you are there, you don't know what is going on. If you know already somebody who knows the place, then you are very lucky.
Yeah.
And if you have an open mind and an open heart, and you sit in a cafe, and you're sitting there, and other people maybe get interested in you, they talk to you, even if they are not from Berlin. It's the city makes it. The city is like easy conversation. It's very easy to be a stranger sitting in a cafe, only if you're open. Then then you will get in contact with the others, and maybe you like them, maybe not, but you get contact. And through different experience in your open-minded way, then you get to see the hidden places in Berlin, those places that are not written in the newspapers. You see those beauty of Berlin and the diversity. And within this diversity, it doesn't matter what kind of preferences you have. You will find your own, the way you like it.
That's beautiful. I think this is really...
You must have seen a lot of those places also disappearing, no? And the city is constantly changing.
Well, it's always a coming and going. That is life as we ourselves, we live and we die. But it's also, I was thinking about death, and I think death is actually a very good invention. Because if everybody would live forever, some will will be controlling some people, and the others, they are slaves, and that will never end. I mean, oh my God, I don't want to even think about it. So, there's always a chance to change something. But if I really think about it, like those 10,000 years of history of that we know, we are still under the threat of wars. And why are we still in this endless loop? And sometimes I can't believe that we are 10,000 years doing the same stupid things over and over in a different way again. And now I think it's about time to really, we have all this interaction, we have all this connection around the world. And I think it's about time to get a clear conscience, because change begins in your own consciousness. And therefore, if you think and look into yourself and take a close look what you do, it's not so good, actually. It doesn't matter when you start doing it. You don't need to go back in your childhood. You just have to make a direct decision to change. And that's it. It's all about. You realize something, you get insight into your thoughts, and if you get insight into your thoughts, you get insight into your intentions.
Beautiful, Brit. I stay inside of your words, because I think it's beautiful when somebody can show to each other a big experience, because life is really like a beautiful journey. How you explain to each other is a big lesson, guys, because sometimes we are so lost each other. Sometimes we're thinking about we need to be like that. We are slave of what we have around. But today you show to each other that you need to be as you are.
Take a deep breath for all of those who are not living inside themselves. Take a deep, deep breath. Look at yourself. You don't need to move in the borders that others want to set for you. You are free to live your life the way you like it. Don't be afraid to be alone, because it is a courage to be yourself. Take the courage to be yourself. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Listen into your own inner voice. The inner voice will show you the direction. And if you are connected with it, then the music will flow.
So that's a perfect introduction to actually listen to some music, I think.
This is a sound of sea, a sound which creates a new dimension. This is a new style of music. is a new style of music. This is a sound of sea, a sound which creates a new dimension. This is a new style of music.
So I assume we actually kind of played music that you like.
Oh, I would just hire you as a DJ. I love your music. I know you can turn a whole mass of people, you can turn them on and put them into a story. They go through the stars and they come back and they love to be on the ground again.
That's beautiful, guys. This is the real spirit of Berlin. I'm happy that we invite her, Brit, because she's really show to each other the meaning of life. So enjoy the life without stress, without any target, any cliche. Be yourself and enjoy the life. That's amazing. That's give me a lot of power, a lot of also openness, because if somebody stay from a long while in this world and say that's the spirit and she loved really a lot the life, I think this is really something that's really this place. It's amazing for that reason, because a city is important for their citizen and the Berliners at Allianz. I love you guys.
Every day I wake up, I say, welcome new day, I love you. And I see what is happening for me. I'm just diving into the day and going around, and all these beautiful miracles happen to me. And I want to stay vital until the end of my life. And the last day of my life, I come around the corner with my roller skate, and then I'm sitting down and I say bye-bye.
This is really a poem of life. I'm really amazing. I think, Philip, you get something right. We are really here to enjoy and to stay together, and the music is come right now.
The end don't justify the means, you understand. You take the butter from the table by a gun. You think the status quo will be there when you're done. You buy the missile, buy the laser, buy the tank. Evict the widow, put the money in the bank. You do it all in the name of economics. Economics, economics, economics. Well, it's just industrialized, hidden behind your eye. It's just industrialized, hidden behind your eye. Maximize, profitize, exploitation. Take what you want, leave the rest behind. Take what you want, leave the rest behind. Maximize, exploitation. Take what you want, profitize, leave the rest behind. Exploitation, control. Take what you want, profitize, leave the rest behind. I know you know who you are. Fuck control. I know what you're thinking. I know who you've been.
So, Electric Cafe, and we are here with Brie Ganya.
Kanya. It's
And
Kanya.
yeah, and yes, we are just dancing, we are just talking about life and everything. Today we are here with her for talking about Berlin. I mean, this great city, and she experienced about her and what she done. Also because you doing, before you say also, a club like called it 90 Degree, right?
Right.
Yes, and that was the period early.
It started in the early beginning of 89.
Okay, yes.
And in the in the winter of 89, the wall came down.
yeah, yeah.
And within the club scene, East and West mixed very quickly.
Yes.
After a short time, you didn't know who is from where.
That was the period where they call it also the prototype of techno. It was the early house. There's things also because that was the period where also in London they used to do the Summer of Love. So that was the period. What we're talking about is the early period of about also Acid Party, whatever. And it was involved in this club. On the other one you talked before, also Mike Reeder, right? Or
Mike Reeder, yeah, he was already on the parties at the beginning.
yeah.
And he is such a sweetheart. Hi, Mike.
Yeah,
Mark.
yeah. Mark is so wonderful. Also, he keep me a lot of contact with a lot of beautiful people of the scene, and yes, and that's beautiful. So that period, I think, it was really important.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the techno was hard at
Yeah.
the beginning when the wall came down.
Yeah,
And I guess because of the East and the West, they had to clash because they had different histories. It's
Yes.
the same country with different conditionings.
yes,
They were conditioned completely different. And so those came together. And I guess this hard techno, it was really boom, boom, stampf, stampf. But it was right for that time.
Yeah,
It was just the right
yeah.
thing. So, they could leave their aggressions and whatever. It came all out. And then they were so exhausted that they could only come together.
Yeah, also because I think because I think what you say now I can understand also really important because it's the moment where the love was in the period of house where it was completely different because it was the end of the 80s. What we're talking about now, the early techno, it was also the first times, the first 90s where there is a revolution, a lot of problem also with politics, oppression. This was kind of music, was hard, like you say, it was just an expression of...
At the beginning of the wall came down, there was actually a time of anarchy.
Okay, yes.
Because, especially in the East, because there was no more control.
Yes.
Everything, you could open all those clubs in
underground.
the
yeah.
underground and
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
for almost nothing.
Yeah.
And it was because all in a sudden, those young people could do whatever they wanted. It was
Yeah.
anarchism in
Yeah.
a way. But in a good way, It was not anarchism like war, it was music of anarchism.
Yeah.
And techno had its meaning absolutely there. And I'm very glad that house, because I am a housewife, as I told you, that house, they call it now techno. When I met Günther, we loved to dance, and Günther said, "Oh, I love techno." And I said, "Wow, how can you love techno? I can't understand. This is so 90. And then I realized Günther loves house. I said, "Well, you dance to house, and there you go really crazy." And also still people say I play techno, and because I know what is house and what is techno from the beginning,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know it's house.
Yeah.
You love house, guys.
Anyway, you found something else to dance?
Well, just giving it another try here.
Yeah, it's funny because today we are just say here we do DJing with Brit and dancing with Brit, something unusual. But that's the beautiful things about Electric Cafe. It's a lot of our little bar.
much freedom here. This is your life.
Okay, everyone is back.
Yes.
To dance is only good if you dance together. Alone is just a little bit of fun, but together is being a piece of stardust and you're just sharing it into the stars.
Here we are. Hello, hello. I don't hear any more my voice.
Me neither.
Wow, 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 wow. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, maybe I not heard my voice in the
You hear
headphone.
me?
Yes, now we got it. Okay, I didn't heard. So it's a crazy day of the day, and
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, yes, it was too loud now, too loud. Yeah. The regia say, "Hey, it's too loud." Anyway, it's a funny stay here, dance and share the energy because somebody say this is crazy guys. No, we are just enjoy the life, and I was dancing with her because she showed me really the meaning of life, like I told you before. Anyway, I think we can really say see you the next time, the next episode. Thank you, Brit, to be with us. It was really amazing. It was really, really amazing because I think, guys, today I just experienced something strong, something really amazing. And I thank you. Thank you really for being here.
Thank you for giving me this pleasure. I had such fun. One time I was dancing alone. That was just half of the good cake. But if he comes back, oh, it's like being on Stardust, a part of it. So we were dancing into the stars. And I hope you love to dance too with people you love. Bye.
I'm sure Max and me will both go home with a big smile today. So thanks a lot, Britt.
You're welcome.
Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.